Well, Bafana COSAFA coach Morena Amaramurubodi came into prominence after he guided the lower league division team Maluti FET College to a famous victory in the Nedbank Cup in 2013. He's currently with Jwaneng Galaxy in Botswana, where he guided the team to the league title last season. And let's welcome him now on Sports Live. He joins us via Zoom. Good evening, Coach, and thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Sports Live. So, firstly, congratulations on winning the league title with Botswana outfit, and of course taking them to group stages of the Champions League for the first time last season. How did you guys get there?
Thank you very much. Good evening to you and to the viewers at home. Thanks for this invitation. It has not been easy, to be honest. We have to try our level best to make sure that we do proper preparation. The league is growing. The league is becoming very competitive in Botswana. And if you look at all the teams which we have competed against, are very competitive teams, which I believe that any of the teams we competed against could have won the league. As for the CAF Champions League, I think we did so well because I think it was also a matter of saying we're trying our level best to try and build a team which will take us through for the next 3 seasons, which I think we are in our 3rd season now. Last season we won the league. So I hope that we'll complete our cycle this season with good results again.
Yeah, I'm no doubt you're going to take the team to the next stage. But you are one of the few local coaches who have won league titles across the South African borders. What are some of the challenges that you have faced? I mean, someone like Pitso Mosimane has talked in depth about the challenges in the rest of Africa. But for you personally, what have you seen as the challenges in Botswana?
One, let's be honest, when you are a foreigner, there's so much expected from you. And even your team, everybody, when they play against your team, they try their level best to prepare better. So obviously the competition becomes very, very tight for you. Secondly, I think you sometimes find that maybe some of the grounds you use maybe become a disadvantage to you in terms of how you want to do things. But to be honest, I think, as I indicated, football is growing in Botswana, and there are few things that one would say, yeah, they become challenges, but the playing fields are leveled. Everybody can do well. So I think at the moment, as the league is trying to build a formidable and a well-recognized league, everybody is competing fairly, and we are doing our best also as a team to make sure that we remain competitive.
Yeah, speaking of remaining, you're obviously staying with Galaxy after you renewed your contract. Any ambitions of coming back to South Africa to coach here? Because you obviously mentioned what you like to see with Galaxy, but once you've achieved all the goals that you have planned for yourself for Galaxy, any chance you might come coach in South Africa?
I still believe so. I still believe that I'll soon be coming home. I don't know when, but I believe that I'll be coming home. And again, I still want to do my best at Jwaneng Galaxy to make sure that the day I leave Jwaneng Galaxy, I would have left footprints which will be there for a very long time. So I'm trying my level best to make sure that I remain committed to the work I'm doing at Jwaneng Galaxy. So yes, I'm also grateful for the opportunity granted to me by South African Football Association under the leadership of Dr. Danny Jordan for giving me the opportunity to be the coach of COSAFA. I know it was not an easy decision for technical committee under the leadership of Mr. Maluleka to choose a coach who will take the COSAFA team. So it simply says South African still wants to see me back home, and I believe it will happen very soon.
Yeah, but speaking of Bafana and COSAFA exploits, you won the title in 2021, but this season you came third. Apart from what you just mentioned now, some of the challenges, what else were major stumbling blocks for you guys this year? Not just for you personally in terms of coaching this team, but also overall as a team that Bafana ended up third in a local base tournament, in the tournament that they're hosting.
I think one, we had enough, I wouldn't say much time to prepare, but I think it was enough for us to build a team. It's just unfortunate that I think we needed more considering the types of players we had. We had players who never had good season. Some never played. Some of them were in the national team for the first time. So all those things needed maybe a bit of time to prepare better, but it shows that we have talent in the country, and it shows that when we are given an opportunity, we try our level best to work as hard as we can to make sure that we do our best and maybe prepare better. Yes, we wanted to win the championship, but unfortunately it didn't happen. One, at some point you have this player in the camp and you get a call to say, no, we need him back in the club, that coach wants to see him, and you can't say no if such things happens, because we understand really it's a period where teams are preparing for pre-season or for the season. So obviously not everybody will allow you to have players, but we're really grateful for those clubs which allowed us to have their players during this critical phase of the season. It means a lot to us and to the association.
Yeah, is that a conversation that you've had with the association? And also, I know it's a conversation that is ongoing, the Premier Soccer League versus national duty. Are you having that conversation to ensure that next time you are perhaps better prepared for these tournaments?
I think there are other things that honestly they are beyond your power as an individual. What you can only do, you say, have a data or a list of players which will always allow you to replace and change if there's a need to do so. For example, I think in my list, plus the list I got from the scouting team, I think we had close to 80 players. So when we can't get Katleho Mapate for right back, we knew that there's Kakani in Amazulu and many other players that we could have chosen. Yeah. It's just unfortunate that from the list, sometimes others, when you want to bring them into the national team, they don't have documents. So those are smaller things that I think maybe an advice would be, if you are in the first division, if you are in the ABC Motsepe, as much as you don't know what will happen tomorrow, have a passport so that if an opportunity for the national team comes, you don't miss it because of documentation.
Yeah, let's turn our attention to the women's game now. I'm sure you saw Banyana's game earlier on in the loss to Sweden. Heartbreaking it was for all of us here in South Africa. But for you personally, what do you think they lost that match?
I think, let's be honest, the match was decided on set plays. And I think we did well to some extent dealing with those aerial balls which they were playing into the box. And I was very impressed with the defensive structure of Banyana in terms of dealing with the ball. Very good covering and also blocking the runners and all of that. But I think we allowed them to maybe to push us to play more into their strength, because we knew that they wanted to go over to the striker, the number 11, for second ball. We knew that they wanted to go wide, and they were doing something very, very tricky. They were pushing the left fullback very high and push the right fullback inside as if she's a center right, and allow the number 19, which was playing more as a right wing, to be wide, more like. So obviously, when they had the ball, they were doing something like a 3-5-2. So it was a bit difficult for us to deal with it with the 4-2-3-1, because it was forcing our wingers to drop too deep and expose spaces behind, so that when we win the ball, even if we can play to Khatlan, we are too far. and we couldn't connect quickly with her. And I think secondly was to concede a lot of corner kicks, which unfortunately we couldn't control. But I think, honestly speaking, we did well. It's just unfortunate that we conceded that goal in the critical phase of the match, which I believe that those are some of the things that maybe will come as lessons to us, and then we'll do better in the next match. And I believe that that's some of the things that coach could have seen and will try and correct them in the next match. Yeah,
let's talk about those two matches, Italy and Argentina. They're not as ranked as high. Sweden are ranked third in the world, but Italy and Argentina are not so high. So where can they target, and could they still get out of these group stages, you believe?
I think we need 4 points, and I think we can easily get 4 points. Even though my worry is in the past two matches, I think, where South Africa played against Italy, Italy won both matches. But if you look at the quality we're having now versus the quality we had back then, I believe that we can do something. Secondly, as much as they are very organized, because I was checking some of their matches in terms of how did they manage to get to the World Cup. Very stubborn, very defensive. But I think they will allow us to have the ball more, which I think is one thing that Swedish never allowed us to do, to have the ball more, because they knew that if we can touch the ball more, we can head them. So I think the Italians wants to play more on a low block. And if they can do that, it will allow us to have that space. And I believe that that cohesion will be there. So we'll start to connect passes going forward. And also, I think we'll try to play closer to Khatlani and to give her the support she needs. And I believe we can do something. So that's what I'm saying. If we can get 4 points, I still believe we can go through. It is possible to get 6 points. But I'm saying if things are becoming difficult, I still believe 4 points can take us through.
Thank you so much, Coach. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you tonight. All the best in your next adventure. I enjoyed it there in Botswana. We're going to be checking in with you during the season to find out how things are that side of the world. Thank you so much. That's Bafana COSAFA coach Morena Ramorebodi talking all things football from across the continent, well, in the continent, I should say, in Botswana, as well as what's happening with Bafana.